Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lina and I'm your Russian teacher. Thank you very much for 5,000 subscribers. I'm gonna continue making these videos for you to learn Russian. And today I want to teach you how to build a sentence in Russian. Because the problem of many students that start learning Russian is that they learn just a bunch of words and then they cannot create a sentence with them. So today I'm gonna give you 10 rules on how to build sentences in Russian so they will sound natural and you'll be speaking Russian without any problem. First, I will tell you one thing that you probably don't want to hear, but I'll be honest with you. You have to learn grammar. At least basic grammar that will help you to build a sentence in Russian. Unfortunately, our language works only on grammar. Without grammar, obviously you can speak, you can learn a bunch of words, but you will speak and probably your words won't work together, so people won't really understand you. It'll work at the beginning level. If you need to survive in Russia, obviously you can just learn some phrases without knowing any grammar. But if you want to speak more fluently, if you want to move to the next levels, like A2, B1, without grammar, it's impossible. Here in the introduction part, I'm gonna give you a little bit more information that you need to know before going to the 10 rules. And the first one, as I said, we need grammar. But if you don't want to learn everything, you can learn just basic topics, the most necessary topics. In Russian, these are genders, plural form, cases, and Russian tenses connected to the aspects of Russian verbs. So these 5 topics, that's what you need to learn and to know when you start learning the Russian language. And if you are a beginner, if you try to learn Russian on your own, if you don't want to have any individual lessons with other teachers or with me for some reason, I can help you here. Because you can study my courses on Udemy. They work for all these topics that I just told you. And when you just start, when you don't know anything yet about grammar, you can start with the first course, my new course that is about Russian cases. There, in the bonus lessons, I give information about genders and plural form. So you will study in this course 3 topics at the same time. Genders, plural form, and cases. And after you cover the cases, the nouns, everything related to the nouns, you can move on to the verbs, which is actually more important when you speak, but also more complicated. So you can move on to my second course about aspects of the verbs. There you will learn Russian tenses. We have 3 tenses in Russian, and aspects of the verbs. And like this, you will cover all these 5 topics in about 5 hours theoretical time plus more time for practice. Like this, at least you will know the basis of our grammar and you'll be able to understand how to build sentences and how to do it naturally. But anyway, we have some rules that I want to give you right now, how you can build your sentences in Russian. And the first rule. In Russian, we don't have so-called right order of words in the sentence. In English, for example, or in Spanish and French, you have the right order of words. First, you say the subject, then the verb, then some additional information. Place, time, description. In Russian, it can be anywhere you want. You can start your sentence with a place or with a time or with description, and at the very end you can say the subject of the sentence. We do it all the time, especially in conversational Russian. But when you speak, obviously you can also use the same order as in your language. It's not a big deal, it's not a mistake. In Russian, a few variations of the same sentence work perfectly. They will be both correct. For example, we can use the sentence «Мы пойдем в кино на новый фильм завтра после работы». You see how much additional information I have in this sentence. Завтра, после работы, смотреть, новый фильм. All this stuff is just additional information. Мы is the subject, пойдем is the verb. But what we can do is that we can take the time or another or place and put it at the very beginning of our sentence, and the verb and noun we can use at the very end. For example, завтра после работы мы пойдем смотреть новый фильм. You see, so I moved завтра после работы and мы пойдем смотреть новый фильм. You see, it also works. Both sentences, they will be correct. So when you start saying something, you can use the same order of words as in your native language. But this information you need to know when you hear someone speaking Russian or when you read something in Russian, because as I said, very often we use our weird word order. So you need to know that sometimes the subject of the sentence can stay at the very end of the sentence. Then the second rule is learn the tenses. I already said it before. Tenses you can learn in my Udemy course, because without knowing tenses, obviously it's impossible to speak. How to say something in the past, in the present, or in the future. Obviously you need to know it. Same will be for the third rule. Third rule is learn the cases. Again, here we need to know the cases because sometimes it's impossible to understand by the phrase what we mean without knowing the cases, because very often we omit the verbs that kind of help us to understand what we mean. For example, the sentences «Я домой», «Я дома». In English, they sound exactly the same. «Я домой», «Я дома». I'm at home. But in Russian, these are two different sentences. Я домой means I'm going home because of the form of the word домой. The verb going is omitted here, so we just skipped it, we don't use it. Я иду домой will be the full sentence, but very often people just say я домой, and that's it, and you need to understand what this person means. And you won't be able to do it if you don't know the cases, the endings, the meanings of the cases. Here it's really important to know the cases. Then the rule number 4, it's very important. Search for word combinations and not for separate words. For example, you want to say something and you search word by word. I like going to movies, and you search I like going, so everything separately. Я нравится идти в кино. В or на. Here also you don't know, yeah, because you don't know anything about the grammar, how you can know if you use в or на. So you use anything you like. And like this, it can be incorrect. So you say, я нравится идти в кино. People will understand you, but it's incorrect. So here, when you try to translate such phrases, try to search for word combinations. You can use online dictionaries or you can use Google Translator. Even this thing works. So you do I like, and your translator, your dictionary will give you the option «мне нравится», which is different from «я нравится». I personally like using this dictionary because it gives you a lot of options. It gives you different variations of one word. It gives you the context of the words that you can use, how you can use them in the sentence. Always check, because one word can be used in many different contexts and it can have many different meanings. For example, if you put in this dictionary the word take, in Russian it will give you a million translations. It can be взять, брать, принимать, заботиться, anything, depending on the meaning, depending on the phrase, you will have to translate it correctly. For example, if you put take a shower, it's already a word combination, a stable word combination. So it'll give you the correct translation. Принимать душ. If you put just take, and for example, you choose, okay, I like the word брать for this, and you think that there is no difference between all these words. So you do брать душ. it's completely incorrect. People who don't know English and they don't know that in English you have this combination, they will never understand you. They will think completely different thing. So here it's important to use the correct combinations. Then the rule number 5, learn Russian impersonal sentences. I have a video on YouTube about these sentences. We use them really a lot in all possible situations. We really love these impersonal sentences. And you need to know how they work grammatically and how we use them in our speech. Мне нужно, тебе грустно, вам приходится. All this stuff is impersonal and you need to know how to use it correctly. Then the rule number 6. Always use double negative. That's what I repeat probably every my individual lesson, because students cannot remember this, because in their native language they don't have such a thing. But in Russian we always use double negative. It means that after such words as never, nothing, no one, we have to use the negational particle like не, don't. So, for example, we need to say I've never seen this movie. Я никогда не видела этот фильм. Я никогда не видела этот фильм. Or another example. Ты ничего не хочешь мне сказать? Ничего не. Nothing, don't. Or я ничего не знаю. I know nothing in English you would say, but in Russian we say I don't know nothing. You see, always double negative, even though for you at the beginning it sounds really weird, but that's what we do in Russian. Then the next 3 rules work for questions. Never add any extra words when you try to ask something. For example, in English, you always use additional words when you need to ask something. Do you, have you? In Russian, we don't have it. It's very simple in Russian. You just take the same sentence, the normal sentence, the statement, and you just pronounce it with the question intonation. I can say a statement. Ты не видел этот фильм? That's it. Ты не видел этот фильм? That's the fact. But if I want to ask you, ты не видел этот фильм? You see, it's the same construction. I didn't change anything. But I changed only my intonation. And that's how it works in the Russian language when you try to ask a question. Another rule for questions is that we always put our prepositions at the beginning of the question. For example, in English you have a question, what are you thinking about? About preposition stays at the very end. In Russian we move it to the beginning. So in Russian you have to say «о» at the beginning, then we have the word «что». But after prepositions we use different cases. We cannot use «что» in the basic form. «О» takes prepositional case. That's why we have to say «о чем ты думаешь?» «О чем ты думаешь?» That's our variation of the question «What are you thinking about?» It's okay to ask questions with a negative particle. In English, these sentences, they sound a little bit rude. Like, haven't you seen or haven't you read? You see, it's a little bit rude. In Russian, it's completely normal. Most of the people in most of the situations ask negative questions. It'll be completely normal to ask, «Ты не читал эту книгу?» And the sentence, the question, will be perfect. It's not rude. Try to remember that and don't be offended if Russian people ask you something using this negative particle. And the last rule, it's not exactly the rule on how to build a sentence, but it's a rule how you can check if you build a correct sentence. The rule is, don't be afraid to use Google Translator or similar translators. Because actually, sometimes it can help you. It can help you to check your sentence. For example, you write something in Russian, you try to build some sentence, then you put it in the Google Translator and see how it translates the sentence to your native language. And it will show you if that's what you wanted to say, or if it's something completely different. You can do the opposite. You can write the sentence in your native language, then translate it into Russian, and to see how also it's possible to say the same phrase, the same thing that you try to say. And also, amazing thing recently appeared in our lives, that's artificial intelligence. You can use ChatGPT for checking your grammar. Same logic. You just build a sentence in Russian, you put it in the ChatGPT, you ask it to correct your grammar, and it corrects actually the grammar. Probably it's not perfect for some complicated phrases, for some complicated things, but if you need something basic, it can help you perfectly. Some of my students checked it, used it, and it works. So you can also use it. And that's it. I'm not gonna say that it's easy, I'm not gonna say that it's not complicated, because obviously it is. Always it's complicated when you start to learn a new language, especially as difficult as Russian, but everything is possible. Everything is possible if you spend your time learning something and doing something, not just hoping for some miracle that one day you will wake up and you will speak Russian fluently. No, we need to work for this. Here I tried to help you, I tried to give you all the rules that I know that can really help you to build Russian sentences and how you can move on, how you can improve your level. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, subscribe to my channel and learn Russian with me.